How's it going, fam and cheese? Thank you for joining me out here today. I don't know what day it is currently that you're viewing this. Hey, we're just chilling out here on this mighty fine Lubbock day. It's totally not cold and it's totally not hot. It's just kind of cool. Kind of like you guys. Y'all are kind of cool too. Something new in my life right now. I released my third spoken word video called Jesus Jesus. You can go click on that one right now if you haven't seen it. As of right now, I haven't seen the finished product. I'm still working on it, so tell me how it is. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to come out and shoot this video as a precursor to another series that I'm about to be doing. It's going to be where I'm just kind of interviewing a bunch of people that I know, in a sense to get the community involved in this channel. My plan here coming up is to have 2 videos per month coming out at you. And if all goes to plan, that will be the case. So that will be a variety of, like I said in a video in the past, spoken word, covers of songs, talks like this, stories, and the one that I'm really leading into with this video are interviews. I don't know why I'm using this finger to point it out, but interviews. So what interviews are going to look like is I'm going to bring in people from the community that I am in to share where they've been in life from a faith standpoint and let them get their message out there, because I want this to be not just my channel glorifying myself, but a channel lifting up a community and a channel that helps equip people in their faith to get out and make new disciples no matter what they're doing in life. So that is the ultimate goal of this channel. While I do want it to be the community, it still is my channel. So I felt like y'all are owed a little bit of, stuff about me before I start giving stuff about other peeps as well. And you'll hear various other stories about my life as this channel progresses, but this one's just going to be strictly the night I came to know Jesus Christ. A little bit before I get into the meat of the story, where it all began. I'd like to say that I grew up in a Christian home. My first spoken word was based on that. What I want to get out there is my life didn't begin when I started going to church with my family. That was kind of growing up for me. I was going to church every week. And then I went through this confirmation class. My 7th grade year, one of the things we had to do in confirmation that year was write down on a piece of paper where we were at with the Lord at that point in time. So mine that I still have written down in the front of my Bible was, I don't feel like I would hear these songs on the radio. For example, the one that I wrote down was Live Like We're Dying by Chris Allen. And I just wrote down on the paper that I don't think I felt what they're talking about, because you'll hear about these things in songs where there was a moment where everything changed for them. And I was looking at my life and I was just like, man, God is just kind of, I'm still, I was at the stage of figuring things out. I was a junior high kid. So this is a pivotal moment. It really could have gone either way. So that leads me into when I actually found Jesus. So fast forward about 1.5 years to Cedar Canyon Church Camp. What year would this have been? Cedar Canyon, by the way, shout out. You saw a glimpse of Cedar Canyon in the Jesus Jesus video if you've seen that already. So very beautiful place, very special place to me. Mainly because of this story. I brought my best friend Samuel with me. Samuel, if you're watching this, much love for you, brother. I've told Samuel before that he's had a big impact on my faith life and where I stand now, but I don't think he's even ever really heard the details of it. Alright, so we've changed out the cameras just to make sure that the battery keeps going and something tragic doesn't happen, as you do. We were going to camps for the chicks, but really just for the friendship, for the fun times, for the games. The point is, we weren't going there to have an experience with the living, true, and eternal God. I said God kind of weird there. I hope I got that. We left with something more than we could have ever hoped for going into it. So the week started, and I had the most amazing small group. I can't even lie, just the best. So basically, earlier in the week, we got completely off the book and we went into cardboard testimonies. If you've never done cardboard testimonies, basically you write on the front of the cardboard what you've been through, what's really tying you down, and really your testimony up to that point. And then on the back, you would write something encouraging to yourself, really. We went through that whole week and there were just stories that I hated to hear. And so by comparison, mine was just weak, man, and I felt so bad for it. Like, it came to me, and mine was, I sometimes cuss too much. I cuss quite a bit. In cardboard testimonies, on the last day, what you do is you stand in the middle of the circle of the group, and they go around telling you things that they saw on you through the week. Hearing someone say what they think about you is so powerful. I got to be in the middle of the circle on Thursday night. I got to experience these heartwarming compliments and just uplifting things that people saw in me going around the circle. And the pivotal one was when it got back to my counselor at that point in time. It got around back to her, and she said something to me that really changed the game on my life. She said, "Kyle, I know your struggle of not really feeling like you're there yet," because that's was my main struggle going into the cardboard testimonies. I just want you to reach out tonight. If you really reach out for God and you find Him tonight, you will be so far ahead of the curve. And so I didn't really know how to interpret what she was talking about until what happened. And I can't even take credit for what I did, because I gave the absolute least. I wasn't looking for anything. I heard her words and I was like, that's about how I reacted. I was like, cool. Going into that night, me and Samuel were standing in the pews, and my least favorite part of all of camp was worship by far. They would repeat the same things over and over and over, and your legs would be hurting from the day. Any young kid that goes to church camp or, even sits through a church service will relate to that. So the worship began, and me and Samuel were the type that would look around at these guys and not really make fun of them, but kind of just point them out and look at the way that they're moving their body. And I'm talking about the guys that put their hands up and they really reach out and they're getting into it in worship. Those are the guys I'm referring to, and it's kind of ironic now that I'm one of those guys. All of a sudden, during one of my least favorite songs, it turns out, Samuel goes up to the altar, and I'm thinking, okay, you do you, man, cool beans. I just looked away. I gave the man his space, but I looked back after a little bit, and I found him on the ground, on his knees, kind of curled up into a fetal position, just bawling his eyes out. And there were people over him just praying. At this point, I was like, okay, what the heck is going on? This is crazy. This is crazy business at this point. So I went out of the pew for just a second, and I said my first genuine prayer. You might think this part is a bit funny. So I stepped out of my pew, and I said, God, I don't know what I need to say. I don't know what I need to do. Show me what I need to say or do. They say that your love is real, and I want to feel that. And then I was just like, I don't know, God, maybe I could help my mom out with the laundry a little more. And then, with those special words, I was overcome. Before I knew it, I was on my knees. It was like just something came over me, and I was just bawling, overwhelmed by God's presence for the first time coming into my life. When I came to, it had to have been at least 7 minutes, because there was another song going on at this point, and there were people praying over me, and I was shaking, and I didn't know what to do. I was just so shocked. I felt so surprised. So I just wasn't ready for this. But that is the moment that I started feeling. And it hasn't always been perfect by any means. There have been some enormous bumps in the road. I see God in every single thing I do because of that moment. And so that changed my life forever. That is what I want for the world to experience. Till my dying breath, that's what I'll be trying to preach. Thank you for listening to this whole video, despite however long it may be. Thank you for continuing to support the channel, and I hope that going forward this channel can be a blessing to even one person. I hope you crazy cats have just the most wonderful day, no matter where you're at in life. I'd welcome any kind of support, even if it's just a comment down below. I'd love to see what you have to say. With all that being said, thanks for sticking around, and I will see you next time. The weather's good, the weather's right. Let's get to recording, or we'll be here all night. You know what I'm saying? And then, well, let me rest my hand real quick. Gets tired of grabbing this mic. Shake that off, shake out the cramps like that. I recommend this strategy. Jesus Moses. Is this a cool shot, do you think, Carly? Yeah? Be honest, I mean.
There's a lot of shadows.
You don't like it? Oh.
You asked me to be honest.
Yeah, I know I did. And I said these exact words. Another plane? Are you kidding?
Those are some exact words.
That's exactly what I said.